What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a special episode of the Viall Files. Is it Rally Recap edition? Is it like the More You Know edition?
Ooh, it's interesting, fun, Love Island chit chat, but also everything you've ever wanted to know about GLP-1s, mommy makeovers. Yeah, titties.
It's a girls' app.
It's a girls'
Yeah,
app,
it's for
sure.
the girls.
With the guest who is a man. But
for the girls.
for the girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, aren't the men also interested in
true.
GLP-1s
That
and
was
the future of
actually-
AI in modern medicine?
Yeah, that's actually
That's-
a really good point.
And what is the thing he was calling it? The phenomenon of like aging more gracefully?
Longevity.
Longevity.
Mm.
Yeah.
Longevity.
Yeah, for the girls and the guys who like get it, you know?
Well, we do have the world-renowned plastic surgeon, Dr. Terry Dubrow, is with us, who I like to think we're friends. I think he's very cool.
He seems like he's friends with you guys. I was like, can I get in on this? Can I come to dinner next time?
I want like the Dr. Terry Dubrow to be like my mentor.
You should just ask him to be.
I think I'm going to.
Wait, I love that.
I think we're going to go out to dinner.
Cute.
I want to go out to dinner.
Yeah.
Like without the wives.
Oh.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to have like locker room talk with Dr. Terry Dubrow.
For sure. And I'll go with Heather and we can talk like diamonds and
Great.
the stuff that Heather likes to talk about.
Yeah.
Love that. I was going to say, though, after yesterday's episode, locker room talk? What does that entail for you?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Well,
I don't know. I'll have to ask Terry. You know, he's going to be my mentor, you know.
yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, there's so much conversation in the world these days about GLP-1s. I honestly don't know much about them. I think with a lot of modern medicine kind of crazes, there's always a lot of skepticism. Is it safe? When things kind of come out fast, you know, there's always a lot of discourse online, conspiracy theories, misinformation, yada, yada, yada. We've always been fascinated with plastic surgery. Also, like AI, it's very scary stuff, potentially, but also maybe super beneficial. Like, how will AI play a role in like our ability to age more gracefully? You know, what's the future of modern medicine? And Dr. Dubrow is someone who pays a lot of attention to this stuff. And he also is just like a highly successful man, which I find to be fascinating. He was also just entertaining. So he graced us with his presence and had a fun conversation about all this stuff. I think you will all find it incredibly interesting. Before we get to Dr. Dubrow, we did have an episode of Love Island last night. It was Casa night. Susie and some members of the household actually in Los Angeles, the greater Los Angeles area, the theaters opened up.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of lit.
What? It was fun?
It was fun. It honestly made me realize how many girly pops just like want girl time. Like one girl we met,
It was like, girls' night? It wasn't like for the boys?
There were a couple of boys there, but like
single boys with other boys, or were the men coming with their ladies?
it was either men with their ladies or the girls and the gays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was really sweet. Like
It wasn't a lot of Zyke and Bryce's and like boy band stuff?
Okay. No, not so much that.
Okay.
But it was just like, it was sweet, you guys. Like, it makes you realize how important female friendships are.
Yeah.
Like, one girl was like, oh, I like got off work and I live pretty close to here. So I went home and like changed into my sweats. And like, I just want to be with people and watch it with other people. And it was funny, like the girl beside me wasn't with us, but I would like look over at her and we would like talk our shit, you know?
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I'm so annoyed. And she's like, no, I can't stand this. And I'm like, oh, like this is so nice.
We love that.
Especially because normally when you're watching a movie in the movie theater, it's like no talking, no one on your phone.
No
like,
eye contact.
No eye contact. Yeah, do not look at me. But this, it feels like it was very much like, let's all chit chat.
Yeah. Everyone was like, there's videos we took and like people are like doing this kind of thing with their hand, like fist pumping in the air. And
That's
it was,
awesome.
yeah, it was really cute.
so sweet.
We love a community. Well, that's why we do this
yeah.
shit.
When the episode finished, though, I will say I was kind of like, that feels like a weird episode to have put in theaters.
One girl literally was like, wait, is there more? Like, is this an intermission? And she was waiting outside, like, are we going back in? She was like,
Like
I
a
thought
play.
it was
Like, is there
2
more
hours.
after the credit?
From the feedback you heard of not necessarily critiquing the episode, because it was I mean, listen, there's 30-some episodes, and they're all going to be home runs, but we felt like there was a lot of expectations. This was a night where the theaters did open up. It was Casa night, so we will obviously talk about the episode itself. But I am curious in terms of just like hanging out with all these people who were there to obviously spend time with their friends, but to obviously, you know, the water cooler talk and to compare notes. What were some of the biggest like takeaways or themes or sentiments that you heard
Mm.
from the audience about how they feel about the show, like individuals, couples, things like that?
I think I would say almost everybody is kind of vibing the same way we are. Everyone wants Aniya to find somebody. Like everybody, when we were like, who do you want to see explore? Aniya. She needs to ditch KC. Like she needs to go out and find somebody. Like I feel like the message has been similar. There were a couple zingers in there. Like some people just really don't like certain contestants. Like some people really don't like Kenzie. And
I've seen that
you
online
know,
too.
and I kind of
She's a big personality.
She's a big personality. I get that she may like rub people the wrong way, but I was saying to somebody last night, I was like, you kind of just have to like take her at face value. Like she's funny AF.
Yeah.
Like she's gonna jump into the splits and
You
like
have to expect the splits from her.
expect
You
the
can't be
splits.
like, oh my God, she's splitting again.
Yeah.
It's like, here goes the splits.
Yeah.
And she's
Give it
pretty,
to us.
pretty transparent. She's like,
Yeah.
listen, if you want a happy Kens, I just need to do the splits. I need
Yeah.
to dance.
It's
Like,
literally I need attention.
she's like, I got to dance
Yeah.
and I got to show my shit off. And like,
Yeah.
I'm happy
I've
now.
never
It's like,
been happier.
okay,
Do you-
well, that's
Kyle
what you need.
Richards, Kenzie, last name from Love Island. 2 queens who can do the splits, and I think it's really important to have them on TV.
Do you think Kenzie
Wow.
actually did that though? I was like before the villa, because I was talking to someone. I was like, this has to be a bit that she decided going into the villa that I'm going to just do as many splits as I can, because I've
No.
never
No.
seen that in real life.
No. Chambliss did a split at our wedding reception, and she's like I feel like the people who can do splits.
They
Yeah.
show it off.
Like, have you
They
ever?
do
do
the
you,
split.
do
If
you
I
have
could,
the
I would.
ability to
Yeah.
do any party trick? I don't, and I would love
No.
one. Like,
I
like
don't-
my
I-
whole life growing up, it was like I could wish I could do a backflip.
or the worm or something.
The worm.
I feel like the worm is. I was just about
That
to
one's too
say. I
easy.
feel like the
Overplayed.
worm. Yeah.
It's overplayed,
Yeah.
but if you can do it, you're looking for a reason. You're
No.
like, it's that Ross Geller where they're like, you should play. You're like, no. Okay, like you
That-
want
it's-
I
to
do
be
play it like
asked.
that
Did
because I can
someone-
do it. But
Did someone mention the worm? Did someone
Oh.
ask if someone could do the worm?
Can you do the
No, I
worm?
was just saying that's
Oh.
what I would do if I could do the worm.
oh, I was like, are you about to do the worm?
No.
I was gonna leave.
I can't.
That was gonna be. The
I was
case.
gonna lock in.
And the splits is, clearly
do
no
the
one else
splits.
can do the splits because there's no one else in the villa being like,
Yeah.
actually, Ken's, I can do that too.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Imagine if Kata one day is just like, watch
By
this.
the way.
By the way,
That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
drops down. Or the guys.
So outside of Kenzie, who else
Okay.
is rubbing people the wrong way?
Zach. Got it.
Yeah, Zach was a heavy hitter. People are a little annoyed with Zach. Casey, obviously, people are just like, same thing we're saying. Everyone's like, it's okay to be open. We want you to be open, but you've been shady about it. Sincere people, I feel like people are like annoyed with him. And it's really
Is
just
there any guy that
Bryce. People love Bryce.
people love Bryce?
People love Bryce.
Just don't.
Even after this episode?
Even more.
Really? Well, I guess because
they gave
he,
him a
like-
good little edit there.
Mm-hmm.
And it-
ending.
Sad boy at it.
Sad boy edit.
Mhm.
But he was a huge like I was really shocked. I was really like, oh, everyone wants Bryce and Trinity to work out. And I was like,
I just
no.
feel like there's not anyone there.
Who is the new
Who's
guy
into
Trinity was
Bryce?
making out with at the end of the episode?
I don't know any of the Casas
Yeah.
names yet. But
The new guy that Trinity was making out with? I mean,
I also-
Their vibe with each other just seems way more
Corey.
way more chemistry between
Yeah.
the two.
Mhm.
And he has like this is a Corey, a man whose like passions are fashion.
Mhm.
Yet despite that, he still gives and I'm curious, before you came in, I was like, I'm curious what you and Natalie think. But like the more we're learning about Bryce and Zach, this obviously bromance, and there's been a lot of discourse online about like, is there more to it and yada
Mhm.
yada yada. And we obviously talked about that yesterday, where it's just like I think more adolescent boy behavior, despite Bryce being 29. But then like I was reminded that like Zach is like literally was like my hero is Zayn from One Direction, which I like Zayn, but like hero, boy band,
Hero
and then find out last night that like watching Spider-Man
did it for him.
is yeah, and it's just more like again this is that like paints a picture of like again adolescent boy energy, and I'm just curious for the ladies, is that something that you find? I mean, I like Spider-Man as much as the next guy, but
Mhm.
there's a softness to Bryce and Zach, and even like where Zach he's certainly willing to open his mouth, but he is a bit whiny.
Mhm.
He's always kind of like centering his insecurities anytime Kata's like doing anything. Where Kata is just not like she's not like that. She is she gives off this confident energy.
Mhm.
Same thing with like Trinity.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, I don't know. Like, I look at Trinity and Corey, and I feel like that's just, like, Trinity and Bryce, they both seem like really nice people. I don't know. And, like, I don't know. Bryce has no...
Are you talking about like a little bit of swag?
Little swag. Yeah, a little, like,
Yeah.
you know.
I
I know
don't-
you're going to be respectful, but what could you... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't need swag. Like when a guy has it, I'm like, oh, that's nice. If he's got everything else going on, like if he's got all the character values of somebody that I want to be with, and then he's like got a little bit of that or a lot of that, I'm like, amazing. I can do without it, but everything else has to be there. You know, like I can, as long as he's a good person, he's funny, like we have to have chemistry. I don't need you to be like cool. But I mean, I do think Bryce is cool. He just doesn't
No,
have
he's
like
cool.
is it sex appeal maybe?
When Caleb, the night before, as Natalie pointed out,
Mhm.
came out and was like, spread your legs, ladies.
Yeah.
Caleb is a guy who, from what we've seen so far, seems like a gentleman. He's got this sweet demeanor.
Yeah.
He seems really kind. But in that moment, he kind of gave the, oh, he might fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
He
like,
fucks.
Yeah,
You know,
like when he
like-
tied her hands up and put,
Yeah.
like, yeah, he
and
definitely
Bryce
has.
and Zach don't kind of
they
give
don't
the,
have that.
the fuck.
You
You
know
know,
what?
like, but that's not
Yeah.
for me to say, you know? And I'm just curious if the ladies in the room have.
No, I know a lot of girls that like love a nerdy boy.
I don't
You know, it's a.
But
it's
even
a
the nerdy
thing.
boys
It's not
sometimes have,
even
like, a bad
nerdy
boy.
though. It's
No,
like
sorry, I mean a sensitive. Like I'm friends with a lot of those guys, and I know their girlfriends, and I think they just like want to feel like safe and taken care of, and that.
like
you
listen,
know what I
I
mean?
think there is
I
a
don't know.
big difference between Carl,
Yeah.
our new Casa guy, and
That's a
Casey and
man.
Bryce.
Yeah.
Carl is like the nerdy, sensitive,
Which one's Carl
sweet,
again?
the one who taught her Chinese.
Oh
and
my
was,
God.
like,
What a
so
great conversation. What a flex.
obsessed.
What a flex.
Obsessed.
Aniya
Yeah.
deserved, and it was like what.
What we've been waiting for.
Yeah, and I think honestly, Nick, to your point, the Bryce and Zach thing is more relevant to me a little bit with like KC and Aniya, because I'm like, I think Bryce and Zach Zach specifically, to me is like he seems immature and he seems like
He's
a
a very
young guy.
whiny-
Like, I'm
mean,
expecting
yeah.
to go if he were to show me his bedroom. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I would
Spider-Man
believe
cheese.
if he
He has,
still
like,
lived
a
with his
race car
parents,
bed.
and I would believe
Oh my God,
if
like
there's
a
like a
twin
Spider-Man
size
pillow
race car bed.
and a One Direction
Spider-
poster.
No, Spider.
That's giving me the ick even
And
more.
like a guy in his mid to late 20s, I'll listen. I love Madonna and Britney Spears. Like, I will jam to that shit to the point where it does give my wife the ick. But like, it is not something that I'll be like.
You're not gonna lead with that on Love
I'm
Island.
not going to lead with that on
A
Love
cornerstone
Island
of
or
your
be
personality.
like, yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
and
my
then-
hero.
But I think
Yeah.
with someone
It's a literal guilty pleasure.
Mhm.
yeah.
I think with someone like Casey is gonna like pretend he's not that guy, but then kind of is. You know what I mean? A little
Yeah.
like he has that
He's
bit-
aware of it.
He's aware of it a little bit, and he's like goofy and whatever, but still a bit immature. And then you have Carl, who obviously we've only gotten like 30 seconds of screen time from him, not very much, but
Mhm.
he seems to just be like calm, sure of himself, and wanting to like kind of take care of Aniya. And I
Yeah.
think none of those boys over trying to get with these Casa girls are looking to take care of anyone.
The way the men in this episode were talking about like their gripes and complaints about the women in the villa as if they didn't just like get out of the strip club that was like
right.
it was like, what do you, Corbin, do you not remember saying I'm going to leave this island with someone else? What are you doing pointing out Kenzie's red flags? Like, it just
Right.
makes no sense in the way these guys.
Yeah,
I don't
him
know.
being
I mean,
like, I
again,
actually had a few red flags I was going to bring up to her before I
Right.
came to Casa. Like, and what were they?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's hear them.
Let's hear them. Her splits.
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe he's got some like questions, but they were
Right.
just like, clearly they act as if like that what the women got to watch and what they were doing with the bombshells is, I guess, like a freebie, or it doesn't count, or
Because it's a challenge.
Well, yeah, him being like, are y'all going to kiss outside the challenge? And they're all like, well,
You
I
have
feel like you
to.
have to just like see if it's there.
You've got to try it out.
And then you have
bro.
Sincere in the morning, then be like, Sincere, did you kiss? And he's like, yeah, I had to. You
Right.
had to?
You
Yeah.
had to.
God, I hate it when I just have to make out with a
Meanwhile,
beautiful
Melanie's
woman.
like sitting on the yellow couch. I miss my man. I miss my
Yeah.
man.
Everyone booed in the audience at that part.
Yeah.
Literally.
And they
When
people
she
were
should-
said,
booing.
"I miss my man."
When the girls were like, I miss my man, we all were like, boo,
Boo.
tomatoes.
Can I ask you a question about
Yeah.
what somebody reacted to at the screening? When TT, after she was making out with KC, came back in and was like, my man, my man, my man. What was
Okay.
the reaction there?
It was icky silent, you
Yeah.
know? Like, we weren't really, it wasn't booze.
Okay. Because we don't know TT well enough. yet.
Yeah, and I
Are
think
we also like not happy that Casey's like
They were
giving
horny.
finding-
I was a little disappointed in Anaya. The other night, she's just
When?
like talking her big game. You know, she's like,
Oh,
"You can
yeah.
do that. I'm gonna do this." Blah 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 blah. And
keep
then
that energy.
where did the energy go? Then one night of like and Casey is at this point embarrassing Anaya.
Mm.
I'm sorry, you know, and I she deserves better.
Yeah.
But like she's got to follow through. This man was begging for women that he wanted to make out with, and he got that. This is a man who's been horned up for weeks and talking about his feelings with Anaya while regretting not making a move on Soul, and this is the result of that. And it's like at this point, it's just
Yeah.
like he should know at this point if Anaya is someone he wants to invest in. It's clearly not.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the women he's interested in who Anaya's energy is different than these bombshells. And if he's into these bombshells, like he doesn't, I don't, and I do feel like this is a Carl.
Carl? Yeah.
Yeah, like Aniya is like she's a serious person,
Mhm.
and I mean that in such a compliment. She knows what she wants. She's and this
grown.
Carl is like, yeah, he there's a sense of maturity and essence of like Carl doesn't need to just say something because he knows it sounds good and it's gonna that's Casey has been like doing that.
Yeah.
Casey is like saying the things he's supposed to say. I think Carl is just speaking from like
Yeah.
his genuine self.
But
Yeah.
you need at this point, Anaya needs to like follow through on how she wants to like carry herself and have that self-respect that she says she has for herself, and she needs to show it. She needs to like
Mm-hmm.
move on. Like a day later, and you're commiserating with Melanie about how you miss your men after watching them. And Melanie saw the lip licking of Sincere. It's just like, I don't know. Like, yeah, she was like, I hope he's just having fun. I mean, I'm sure he was, but like that was a kind of like yuck.
Yeah.
I would be mortified. And I've done some mortifying things on TV. If I had this like licking of my lips on TV,
Crazy.
like I don't want you to see my like O face,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm actually just so shocked at how open people are. Like, I really think it's so jarring. Like, I know I said this yesterday, but I'm like, it's like giving porn.
Yeah.
Like, it's really just, it's so graphic.
And it's really it's
is.
funny because it's like Gen Z has this whole, and I've been seeing a lot of stuff about Love Island and like the couples island thing and like people theorizing because like as Gen Z goes on reality TV, there's like you're afraid of sex, right? All that to say that I
Interesting.
find it very interesting on Love Island that like it is so much the performance of sexuality versus like actual
Yes.
romantic and intimate relationships. And so it's like they're unable, and I do think it's like as we get younger in reality TV, it's like you're having people that know how to like perform sexuality and this over sexualized, hyper sexualized version of yourself. But it's like when it comes to just actually like having a
Intimacy.
relationship
You guys
that
are
you
all
find on
TikTok
TV.
stars. You know how to like
Yeah.
give us the
Yeah, and that's why like Love Island to me seems like the most terrifying thing in the world because it's like two things that are scary. One, performing sexualization of yourself,
Mhm.
right? And two, like actually if you want to be good on the show, authentically being vulnerable with another person on TV.
Mm.
Which is like, and I think that's the thing that it's like people are choosing the hypersexuality on Love Island versus the scarier thing, which is being vulnerable with someone on TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That
my
is
take.
such an interesting take about the performing of sexuality because this happened last season, I think, or maybe it was the one before, where we were pointing out people were in these challenges literally like doing, it looked like sex. And then they would go to bed at night and they'd be like, okay, but like we did this and like, or like this happened. They'd talk about like really like way less sexual things like making out
Mhm.
Like making out outside of a challenge was a huge deal, but it's like meanwhile you're grinding on somebody, like fully almost having
You're 69ing.
you're 69ing somebody,
Yeah.
and then they leave and then they're freaking out over like making out, and I'm like,
Well,
this
a
is
lot of
bizarre.
people have compared this show, like people compared The Bachelor to like the Stanford Prison Experiment. Are you guys familiar with the
No.
Yes.
Stanford Prison
I'm not.
Experiment?
Yes, I
It's
am.
a very famous experiment where a Stanford professor basically got a group of students and made half the students prisoners and half the students guards.
Oh, I think I've heard this.
And then they created this kind of atmosphere and just kind of watched what they did, and like they leaned into their roles. So basically the guards really became very authoritative and like almost abusive, and like the prisoners like lost the sense of agency and really became more like compliant and things like that, all because of this very controlled environment that they were in. So like it took like 2 days, or it's something crazy stats about like when you really control an environment and you change like
circumstances.
to change circumstances, people really buy into that universe very quickly. So it just goes to show, like on Love Island, everything you guys are talking about is very much like that. Where like in The Bachelor, right? Like very quickly you're just like okay with your friend pulling the person you're claiming to be falling in love with, and you're okay with that person spending 3 individual nights if you're in the final 3, potentially hooking up, and you're just like you just decide that's okay. And it's fascinating just how quickly we can just change the rules in our head by the environments that we're in.
Oh, it's crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, oh my God, before we get to the guests, did you guys see one of the 12 bombshells that apparently got fried by his ex-girlfriend of 3 years for going on the show?
I want to hear about that, but first I thought the 12 bombshells was a giant bomb.
Yeah.
It felt flat.
Oh,
It was way
yeah.
too much B-roll. Like all those scenes where you're seeing them like
It's just kinda
dancing at a party,
pointless.
that is B-roll. That is them being like, that is the director coming and being like, now, all right, dance. And so most of what we saw was like fake hanging out.
Yeah.
And it just felt a little flat. We didn't see.
Even the jumping in the pool, I'm like, it was very choreographed. Where I'm like, sure, they got to spend time together,
is it like
but
not a challenge or something? And then you think about how they actually had to go about making that. So like you're spending no time getting to know each other. They're just doing B-roll. I don't know.
And then it looked like Ariana came in at, I don't know, 7 p.m. and was like, all right, time to pick.
make your picks.
Who's it going to be?
Right. Yeah, that was disappointing. And I honestly think if they were going to do a Casa Amor night in the theater, they should have done it the night before, because
100%.
we were hyped after
Yeah.
that first Casa Amor night, and then that did fall a little short. I feel like everyone was kind of like, damn, why bring all these people in if you're just going to send half of them home?
What happened with one of the guys who got sent home?
Basically what happened is I saw TikTok that this guy had this girlfriend of 3 years and told her that he was going to Miami or somewhere to make money. And so he leaves, and then she sees him on as a bombshell on Love Island. And so she's like,
Well-
what the fuck? And then come to find out after watching the episode last night, like she has pictures with him at a baseball game, like days before he left. Like it's like crazy.
I feel like if you've been dating for 3 years and he's like, hey, I'm going to go to Miami to make some money, like red flag, question mark, question mark, question mark. Like what
hot
do you mean?
take, honestly, like the only mistake he made was lying.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should have just told her I'm going on Love Island.
Yeah.
Because like if your partner wants to leave, you're like, first of all, again, this is an incredible opportunity. This is a perfect example of what I tell people when they're like, when they go on reality TV, they're asking for advice. I'm like, listen, there's no guarantees, but this is a lottery ticket with amazing odds, because most lottery tickets it's like 1 in a mil or 1 in 300 mil or whatever. But like this is like 1 in 40, and and you might really be able to cash out, or you might be the guy who shows up for 12 seconds and nothing happens. But like
And gets ripped online by his
that's worth
ex-girlfriend.
saying yes to. And you better, if you're in a relationship and you get that opportunity and you're going to say no for the relationship, that is your person. You better marry them.
him. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
and if
agree.
not, like if you've been having problems, like, he should have just been honest. But like, clearly that guy was looking for a way out, and he shouldn't go back together with her.
And she
And
shouldn't
she
either.
shouldn't take him
Shouldn't
back.
take him
Yeah.
back.
No.
Well, I mean, maybe if he had made it a little farther in the villa, sure, maybe she could take him back.
No,
But like,
no.
But the fact
just
that he didn't
embarrassing.
even speak,
That was a favorite.
Yeah.
Like the universe gave her an
it
ick.
answer.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like ew.
If she
loser.
was asking for a
Like, you
son,
couldn't
You
be
did this
picked.
and you got sent home.
she got
At least
it.
be good.
Nick, I have a hotter take than yours. I think if that really is your true love and you get the offer to go on Love Island, on the flip side, you better let them go.
No.
Because
Yeah.
that is your cash cow. If they blow up, that is your inheritance.
If they
You know what I
blow
mean?
up,
They're
I'm
blowing
sorry.
up
Like
because
you,
they are in a relationship with
they,
someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's
fine.
how you blow up.
They could do
on-
it for a year and then come back and have the brand deals, you know?
No, that's not. That's
That's crazy.
that's
They'll
not.
get canceled
That's not love.
though
That,
because
that
then they're
is-
lying. They'll
No,
get
but if you're
canceled
in
That's
for
a
on it-
business
consistency.
arrangement.
Yeah.
That is a business.
It
You know
is.
what?
Yeah,
You're a
people clock
businessman.
it.
But if
He
you're
is
in
a
on it,
businessman.
yeah.
Like
I
people don't
respect
like
it.
when Love Island lies about the couples.
Well, but first of all, let's Janae. That's not. That was. That,
Oh, Kenny specifically.
I'm just saying. You made it imply that we're in cahoots.
Yeah, they
Like,
were together.
No, yeah, apologies.
Kenny
Let's pick
screwed
that
her
up.
over.
Let's pick that
Mm.
up. Kenny.
That's not a pickup.
Yeah.
But
What
okay.
the?
All right. Well, we'll obviously get more Love Island, and we'll continue to talk about. Tomorrow we have Gabe or Gabriel from Love Island to talk about his experience. Obviously, him and Sol have a lot to say. I am sure he has even more to say now after watching some of these episodes unfold. And we have the pleasure of having Gabe on our show tomorrow. But right now, it's Dr. Terry Dubrow talking about all things modern medicine, all your burning questions about the topics that we are most confused about, and he is up next. But before we get to Terry, don't forget that Viall Files Plus is available ad-free and full of great content. So go to viallfiles.com to sign up. How old were you when you had your first?
44,
Yeah.
something
That's
like
Nick.
that.
Love that.
was Nick.
Love that. What's the age difference between you and Heather?
10,
Okay.
10
Okay.
years. She would say 10 and a half.
Okay.
Well, yes,
She
of
would
course.
emphasize that extra half year.
Well, Dr. Terry Dubrow, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to see you guys
We're
again.
very excited. We had the pleasure of having dinner with Terry and Heather a few
Yes,
months ago,
yes.
and I was telling Natalie how I think he's just the coolest and how I'm such a fan. Obviously, just you haven't been on before, and you're
No.
just obviously a legend in the reality TV space, which we like to cover. But there's so many things out there in medicine these days.
Yeah.
And you were kind of talking a little bit about them when we were having dinner, things like GLP-1s, how AI is being incorporated into healthcare, how doctors are using it. I think there's just a lot of fear and unknown about these things. Are GLP-1s say, they all, we live in a conspiracy era kind of world, but sometimes, sometimes it is good to ask these questions and
Yes.
challenge authority and things like that. So anyways, thought it'd be fun to bring you here.
I'm excited to talk to you guys. I met you a long time ago. You don't remember the first time I met you.
I think I might. I don't know,
Hollywood Life.
Yes. And we were like sitting in the waiting room. And it was like
Yes.
you and Heather, and I like knew who
Yes.
you guys were. And I was like, I'm always awkward in those moments, and I don't really say hi. but-
No, you said I was nice. It's great to see you, though.
Well, I obviously being pregnant with twins am like ready for my mommy makeover after. So I have so many just like plastic surgery questions.
Right, but you're not going to do it till you're done, right? No mommy makeovers till you're complete.
See,
Like
Great.
no, like not
Great.
even a boob job.
Boobies?
Well, the general rule I tell people is if you're thinking of having a kid in the next 2 years,
Don't do it.
don't do it because
nothing.
it's just going to change everything.
I heard rumor or
Mhm.
not that like if you get a breast augmentation and then have one more kid, it kind of like softens them a little and makes them look a little bit more natural.
I just saw a girl who had this. I won't name names because she is public, and I was like, never seen anything better in my life because they just sat so natural that I was like, I want that.
That's pretty rare.
Rare.
Really?
I think if you go, for example, from a small B to a full C,
Mhm.
you've stretched out your skin. Then you get pregnant. Now you're
Mm.
engorged
Yeah.
with milk. And this you're now a double D. Then you stop breastfeeding or you don't breastfeed. But anyway, it goes back down to a C. But what happens to the skin? Now you need a lift.
Interesting.
So now you need
All the
removal of skin
scars,
and
yeah.
scars. It's better to wait. If you're going to have kids in the next 2 years, don't touch the tummy or the breasts. Don't do
Wait.
anything.
So do
She's
you
processing right
She's-
now.
I am.
She's like, oh my god,
I'm like, I have so many appointments I have to
Yeah.
cancel.
She's
Cancel that
mourning some
one.
information
Trust
she
me.
just
Cancel
got.
that one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, another question. Axillary incision, is that becoming I feel like I'm starting to see that a lot.
Transaxillary breast
Yes.
augmentation.
What does
Yes.
that mean?
So there are many ways to put it in, to
Mhm.
insert them. You can do it. Used to be when it first came out through underneath the breast, in the inframammary crease. Then we started doing it through the nipple because that's a good place to cosmetically camouflage it and hide it because there's a color change. Then someone said, let's put it in the armpit. And that was very popular for a short time because generally we like to put them under the muscle.
Mm.
And it's hard to release the muscle down here where the pectoralis muscle inserts from that far away. So
Hmm.
very commonly, because you can't release them that much, they kind of can sit high. And then if you flex like you're at the gym, they go wah, wah, wah,
Oh,
and that doesn't look good. So
no.
Huh.
transaxillary is not popular anymore.
Oh,
For a while, we were doing them through the belly button, transumbilical. Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Make a little incision, but then a few people, this is a little graphic, put that tube in through the heart.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
And we all went,
Uh-oh.
okay,
Maybe
probably
not.
shouldn't do it that way either.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Right.
no. The most popular way now, I think, is through a tiny incision underneath
You
in
think
the
under
crease.
is still best?
Yeah, it's small. You can do a precise operation that way. But there's a new implant, by the way.
I was about
Motiva?
to ask.
You know it?
I've heard of it, and I've heard it's like one of the best options.
It's awesome. It's called Motiva. The problem with breast augmentation is that they get hard. Even when you do it perfectly under the muscle and you don't go too big, don't traumatize tissue too much, the immune system can come by later and go, yeah, I don't like you.
Mm.
And 10 to 15 to 30% of the time, it decides, no, and he puts scar tissue around it and gets hard and displaces it. So there's a new implant that was available in Europe. Now it's FDA approved called Motiva. Your audience should only get Motiva.
Wow.
It has theoretically, a less than 1% chance of getting hard.
And isn't it easier to take out without having like as much scarring if you needed to get it out for some reason?
It is. I mean, you make an incision and it just pops right out.
Yeah.
So that's the implant to get.
And is that, do you have the option of over or under, or is that like
You
a
do.
completely different place?
You do. That's a very good point. We used to put them all under because the chance of getting hard under is less, right?
Mhm.
So these have such a low rate of getting hard, you can
Mhm.
actually put them on top.
Mm.
And we could talk about why to put them on top or under, but I'd much rather talk about GLP-1 drugs and
Ooh,
peptides.
let's talk.
So I'm so obsessed with those drugs,
Yeah.
right? I studied for a year, took all the courses, and took the exam, became board certified by the American Board of Obesity Medicine.
Mm.
So I'm a board certified obesity medicine specialist, even though I don't practice it.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm just so obsessed with these historic drugs. They're changing everything.
Yeah.
So, let's start with what are the common misconceptions about GLP-1s that through your research
Yeah.
and study and education, you have found to be completely untrue?
That, first of all, it's not cheating. Okay. It's not. It's a really important solve for the number one cause of death in this country, which is obesity. So it's critical to get on them. Beyond that, the number one misconception is that they have all these potential side effects, and we don't know what's going to happen 5 to 7 years from now because they're so new. They are not so new. They were used for diabetes for 15, 17 years now. So we know exactly what they do over the long term. We know what the side effects are. What's so fascinating about them that we've learned is that how effective they are for non-obesity related conditions, for addiction, Alzheimer's, fatty
wow.
liver disease,
Wow.
kidney disease, and just overall reduction of inflammation. They say
Wow.
sugar's the big thing.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s and 80s, when I was a medical student in the 80s,
Okay.
it was all about fat. You need to avoid fat. Fat
Mm.
was bad. Then we rightly discovered it's all about, as you guys know, sugar.
Sugar.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Sugar causes a direct pathway to inflammation. That pathway, that inflammatory effect is completely obliterated and reduced by the use of these drugs.
Wow.
So, because I have seen things online, and I don't know if it's true, but like people have implied that like there's like not like a cure to cancer, but it helps fight cancer. What like
That's
is
right.
that? Is there truth to that?
There's truth that recent studies have shown that when you look at tumor growth in patients who've had cancer who have been on the drugs versus those who have not been on the drugs, it slows it.
Wow.
And that's all the inflammatory effect of sugar in your body. I'm obsessed with them. And if there's Ozempic and Wegovy, those are the originals. That's the same drug. It's GLP-1. Then The double agonist is GLP-1 and GIP, which is Mounjaro and Zepbound, same drug. And then there's the new one about to come out. Have you heard of this?
You told me about it.
I
dinner.
told you,
is
didn't I?
it?
I've talked your ear off. Sorry about that.
No, he loved it. He loved it.
Retta.
Oh, I've
Retatrutide.
heard.
It's actually called Retatrutide, but everyone's calling it Retatrutide. Everyone's calling it Retta. And it's so powerful and so good that they're already making it illegally. Compounding pharmacies have said, forget it. We're not even going to wait for the FDA approval. They're already making it. It's a triple agonist. It's GLP-1, which is Ozempic, GIP, so it's now Mounjaro, right? It's the best one, plus glucagon, which is a fat burner. So it gets rid of your appetite. It burns fat. It reduces inflammation. It's insane. I know 200 people on it.
Wow.
Everybody I know is on it.
I feel like gym bros are on it, which is a little confusing because I'm like, can you build muscle while on these, or like easily? I guess.
So that's the right question asked, because the problem with these GLP-1 drugs is sarcopenia. You lose muscle. Normally on a diet, right, you lose 75% fat, 25% muscle on a regular diet plan. When you go on these drugs, it's more like 50-50. You lose more lean muscle, and lean muscle is the key to longevity, right? So when you add glucagon, you fat burn, you retain more muscle, which is critical. So it's going to be the first $1 trillion drug, Retatrutide.
Wow.
It should be out by the end of this year or the beginning of next year. But there's another one coming after that has a muscle grower in it.
So how do you choose which one to do?
Whichever the latest one is that has all the
Newest.
studies
Okay.
Yeah.
that shows the best fat burning, muscle preservation, or muscle growth. These drugs are so critical and so cool, and I'm obsessed with them, and I'm obsessed with the peptides.
What was the conversation like in the medical sphere when people started, when doctors or whoever it was like, hey, this could like start curing some other things?
It was, as you would probably expect, most doctors were suspect.
Yeah.
They thought it was a bad idea. We're using a diabetic medication in non-diabetics. Why don't people just diet and exercise? And then, you guys didn't probably see this, but I got in a whole thing with Jillian Michaels on the internet.
I did
Oh,
not.
she can be.
She said, "Oh, Ozempic's the worst thing. You should just diet and exercise." I go, did you see the Netflix documentary on your show? It's not working, is it?
That's the thing is like people aren't diet and exercising, and like they should be, but sometimes you might need the kickstart. And I'm not saying I'm for or against, but I'm like, if it's gonna save lives, then I would rather somebody
to
be
your
alive
point, like a
than
diet,
not.
but the definition of a diet is like a kind of temporary thing. It's not like a lifestyle change. It's a
Well, does it work? I mean, is there not an epidemic of obesity in this
Right.
country? Is it been working? Just diet and exercise? It's not working.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what Jillian Michaels and I did, she was ragging on Ozempic, and I was saying it's the greatest thing in the history of medicine, the cure for obesity. And then I was walking out of Craig's, Craig's, and TMZ was there. Maybe I had a cocktail, maybe I didn't. They said, "What do you think about Jillian Michaels saying Ozempic is dangerous?" I said, "Look, if you're going to get your medical advice from a personal trainer, I think you're making a mistake. And if Jillian Michaels wants to give medical advice, she should take the MCATs and go to med school." And she heard that and started, which is right.
It seemed like a
It's a
fairly
reasonable thing.
the reasonable thing to
reasonable thing to
say.
say.
Like,
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. I appreciate
Factual.
that, Nick.
there is some value in being a doctor.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like they're
Yeah. The big question is, so, GLP-1, these drugs are peptides, right?
so that's what a GLP-1 is.
They are.
Okay.
They're peptides. They're short chains of amino acids that send like a biological text to the body. Do this, meaning in this case, don't be hungry. Reduce sugar in the blood. Slow down your GI tract so you get full more easily, right? But what about all those?
Sounds like a Marvel movie where you're like
Yeah.
you're making a superhero and you're like injecting these like human performance things in a fascinating way.
That's exactly what it is. Just wait till AI starts inventing peptides. Okay, I can't.
Is
wait
it
for-
here? Big question, and you probably think about this more. You're how old?
67.
I'm 45.
Yeah.
and I'm at people say I look good for my age.
look
I'm still
great.
fairly active, but
Yep.
I'm working out less and less as a dad. I am getting older. Will these advances in medicine get here fast enough for us to like live and have like great lives into like our hundreds?
For you, and certainly for you guys, for you for sure. You're You're in the sweet spot.
Really?
You're not going to live to 82 like I might. And even for me, I might get a few more years. But for you guys, you're so lucky to be your age because you ever heard of longevity escape velocity? You ever heard of this concept?
Sure, yeah.
Longevity escape velocity is the concept that once AI starts getting involved with medicine, which it's about to in a big way, for every year you're alive, you get to have another year. In other words, you're going to have so many things that are going to augment your ability to reverse aging, to stay alive longer, to inform your body of how to act, that you guys are all going to live to be over 100. There's no question about it, okay? People my age range, I say, listen, if you're alive, congratulations, but you need to do everything you can to preserve yourself.
Starting with?
Well, to exercise. Lifting weights in my age is the number one most important thing. You need muscle mass. That's the most critical thing because there are certain programs your body automatically goes through as you get older. The chromosomes tell you at around 60 to 63, you see people, they go from looking okay to all of a sudden they sort of start to look frail, older people. That's the frailty gene. It's programmed. We're not supposed to live forever. Well, we can, I think, if you do it right. So
Change the program.
It's the program,
Yeah.
right? The telomeres on your chromosomes start to shorten, your reparative processes start to delete. So at 60, and you should do this now, you should start lifting weights. Focus on resistance training. It's the single most important thing you can do for longevity besides taking these peptides. For me, I just want to be preserved enough that when these things come out, which they will in the next 3 years for sure, that I can take it. Because if you're too far gone, you know, if you're, you can take that thing, it's just not going to reverse anything.
Right. You're going to just be staying forever at that frail state for the next 20 years.
Well, the problem with the group peptides as a sort of a category in general is that most of the peptides are illegal and unapproved and untested. Right? It's all rat data. And because the government said, you guys can't have, you can't prescribe peptides. We're not allowed to prescribe the unapproved peptides. We're not allowed to. So what happens? It forced it in the black market. And now it's gym bros and chiropractors online going, Wolverine, man, it's the greatest stack ever. Based on what? What do you know, and they're coming from China and they have heavy metals and toxins.
Ooh, gosh.
There are some for skin. There's some for inflammation. There's some for muscle growth and for growth factor. None of them are approved and none of them are tested, but everybody's talking about them like it's the greatest thing ever. So the government said, you know, let's just make it all illegal. But if they give it back to us, which hopefully they will in the next couple of months, then we doctors can start prescribing them and try to figure out if they work. But so the hot peptides are, you know, I'm sure you've heard of this GHK-Cu, that one for skin. The problem is nobody knows how to take them. Nobody knows what the endpoint is. How do you measure their effect? So we doctors, we know how to do that, but we don't prescribe them because it's illegal. So as soon as they give it back to us.
Where are you with creatine?
I love it. I'm obsessed.
So
I think that's the most tested supplement there is.
That's what I
and the
heard.
most important. But
So I should keep taking that.
For sure. How many grams a day do you take?
Like
5?
One scoop.
One scoop or just 5?
One scoop.
Okay.
So all the recent data, this is the most tested supplement there is, creatine. You should probably be mega dosing it, at least 15.
So it's to build muscle.
Muscle and brain.
Yeah.
It's good for your brain.
It's super good for
And
brain.
It came out when I was in
Sleep.
college,
Yeah.
and it was like something like us, like athletes and football players. Like I remember it became popular. I was in high school and it became popular,
Yes.
and it was one of those like, should you take it? Should you not
Yes.
take it? You'd have like a lot of water weight, and like
Yes.
football guys would take it, and then 20 years later, like, no, actually, it's really good for you.
Well, that's the way they started, and then everybody starts testing, and the doctors go, maybe we should start looking into that. Creatine was the first thing we all went, oh, don't do that. And then we started testing it, and it's incredibly powerful and incredibly effective. I'm obsessed with it. So I think you should take creatine everybody should. Females particularly.
Really?
Yes, because it's all about muscle. You guys need muscle more than we do because you're subjected to osteoporosis,
Yeah,
bone
my mom
thinning.
has it. Yeah.
And the less muscle you have, the less pull on the bone, the less distraction, osteogenesis, Or if you talk to Clavicular, the looksmaxxer.
Oh yeah,
looksmaxxer,
you follow that shit.
moron. Oh,
Yeah.
of course I follow it.
We got to hear your take.
He talks about Wolf's Law. No, clav. That's not what
It
Clavy.
seems
Clavy boy.
my read on it is that, like there's a lot of there's just a problem with like young men these days and what they're focusing on.
Yeah, it's SMV, your sexual market value, is the most important thing you can do
Crazy.
as a teenager. Like, make yourself as good looking as possible so that your sexual market value is elevated, so you're now more valuable in society. Is that what you want a 13-year-old to do?
Wild.
You know this guy, right?
Yeah.
He tells everyone the dose of testosterone to take when you're 12, 13, 14. Of course,
Oh, that's awful.
that stunts your growth.
Yeah.
That makes you sterile, gives you acne, your hair's going to fall out.
Oh.
Don't do testosterone until you're not on it yet, huh? Oh, it's the best.
Can it be safe for the right people?
Not only, do you see what's happening here?
You are
What's
sexy.
going on
Yeah.
here? Yeah, come on.
Listen, you have objectively better guns than I have. Like,
TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, after the age of, 50, I think is really effective, particularly 60s. If you're 60 plus and you're not on TRT, dude, get on a little test. Go to your doctor who specializes in this. Get on it, lift some weight. Well, measure your testosterone, make sure it's low, and it's going to be relatively low.
we were having some issues with conceiving. I did some blood work a few years ago, and the blood work came back like they were like, "Wow, your testosterone is like a 20-year-old." And then
it was really high.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then
they
we checked my sperm and all that stuff. And
They were like, he's perfect. And I was like, okay,
And it was like-
Great.
it was like
it's up
also
to me.
like pretty good. High. It was like not low.
Did you get to look at the microscope and see
No.
the sperm? Heather and I had the same thing, right? We were having trouble conceiving. Did you IVF?
No, we did not. We ended up just figuring out I have some PAI1, some gene mutation,
Oh.
and then some blood disorder called TEG.
TEG,
Hmm.
okay.
So I did Lovenox.
You need a little blood
and
thinner
aspirin.
action.
Mhm.
Okay.
Wow.
And that's what worked.
And you got twins.
And
Yeah.
we got twins.
Wow. I believe in this thing. I'm not, the fertility specialists don't necessarily say this is true, but I think it is true. Once you start having kids, you become even more fertile.
Yeah.
It's like you just get better at getting
Yeah.
pregnant,
Yeah.
right? So the chances that you're going to get pregnant a relatively short time after is probably pretty high. Well, probably not even take. Although you're only,
I mean, conceiving's never been our issue.
well, it was, right? You had to have your
Well,
sperm analyzed.
They
no,
weren't sure.
You know
It
now
was-
about,
yeah,
but
yeah,
now
yeah.
you know the Lovenox thing.
It was
Right.
it was the egg
The
attaching. and-
anticoagulant. Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised. So you think you have birth control now, theoretically, by not using
Yeah.
those measures to enhance your fertility.
Right.
So you may actually get pregnant a lot sooner than you think because you may not even need the Lovenoxes and the drugs
Yeah.
to enhance the attachment anymore. We'll see.
We'll see. How old are your twins?
4 years. We had a singleton 4 years later, and then we had an accident. Those were all IVFs.
Oh, they were.
And then our last one was like, who knew that sex actually could result
Wait,
in a
that's
baby?
So
Wow.
exciting. I love that.
Yes. And
Wow.
so, yeah, because I don't read 4. I know we just talked about 4. 4 is a lot, man. I told you, 4, you lose the taxi,
Yeah.
right? Can't put
Mm.
6 people in a taxi. So now you need 2 taxis.
Car service.
It's a whole huge thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yes.
I know. I remember when NADs were like the best thing.
Yes.
It was like, this is reversing aging.
Yes.
Everyone, have those moved on?
So opinions vary. Again, another
What's an
unstudied.
NAD?
NAD.
What is that?
It's like another peptide for
Okay.
energy.
Oh.
Yet another unstudied thing based on rat studies, which, by the way, 93% of rat data is not translatable to humans, just so you know. So everything
Oh, so when you say rat, you literally mean
tested on rats.
tested on rats. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like slang
term.
for like garbage data.
It's garbage. The one study done on humans, it didn't work, but it's the number one peptide. But NAD, a lot of people like it. I'm not a huge fan. I've seen a lot of people go to the emergency room taking NAD and getting.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you there was a party at a certain housewife's house maybe up in LA, where off camera,
Of course.
and you know all these people obviously, and they had a NAD cyst thing set up with an IV, and 2 people went to the emergency room. It was total disaster.
Oh, no.
So I'm not a big fan of NAD. I think it can cause severe flushing and arrhythmias, and whether it does increase your energy or not. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's pretty split how well it works. I tried it. I hated it.
Really?
I felt it when I injected subcutaneous. I went, okay, and for like 3 hours of that, I don't like this
Oh,
feeling.
no.
And then other people, well, your dose was too high. No, it
Mm.
wasn't too high. I mean, I weighed almost 200 pounds, and I was using a starter dose. I didn't like it, but that's the problem with this. Everything is anecdotal, based on this person or that person.
So, what's the best way? And if you're someone listening to this episode and you're interested in some of the things that you're talking about, like you mentioned, obviously, would go to a doctor.
Yep.
But like, what are the
Yeah.
do's
the
and
preface.
don'ts of this stuff, and how to do it safely?
Okay, don't go on TikTok
Okay.
and listen to Dr. Mike or Dr. James. By the way, if anybody online, social media, calls himself Dr. Terry, they're not. They're a chiropractor. Okay, I can tell you that. And maybe, I don't know about spinal manipulation. I'm not a huge fan, but that's probably important and good. They know how to do that. But drugs and medicine and physiology, maybe not.
Yep.
Go to a person who's an MD who labels themselves as a longevity specialist.
Okay.
Ideally, would be an endocrinologist, but very few endocrinologists I know are into this new frontier of
Yeah.
of medicine. So go to an internist, or it can be anybody. It can be a urologist. Some of the best sort of information out there on YouTube about these drugs are from urologists, weirdly, because they do testosterone and a lot of drugs for male longevity and so on. But go to an MD who's into longevity. And the thing about us is we have our licenses to protect. So we're going to make sure we don't do stuff that's within reason, that's as tested and evidence-based as possible, and we'll follow you very closely. Okay. And we'll prescribe you things through our channels, and don't have heavy metals and endotoxins, and are not going to kill you and put you in the ICU, which is a thing. Okay, with these peptides. So go to a doctor, and particularly in the next several months, because the government is going to allow us to prescribe these peptides legally. That's the big thing. I'm interviewing with a big, important news organization out of Australia tomorrow,
Okay.
and because Australia is severely restricting peptides to the point where they're treating them like opioids.
Wow.
They're treating them like heroin.
Why is that, do you think?
They're just much more conservative than we are in this country. And I think they're a few years behind us. So all that's doing is now doctors can't even fake it. Like, doctors are allowed to prescribe these things for research purposes, which is a whole BS thing that we could get into. But they can't even do that there. So now it has to come from some labs down the street in a warehouse. So when you regulate these things very severely, all it does is send it underground to the black market and make it that much more dangerous. So it's about to become something that we physicians will be able to do legally. And we know this stuff,
Yeah.
particularly guys like me who are obsessed with it. I mean, I still probably won't prescribe it just because I'm a little bit high profile. And, last thing, on my phone, last thing, this will go off sometimes and it says TMZ, and I'm going, oh no. And I go, what? And they go, no, it's not about you. We want to know what you think about this. I go, oh, okay. And then sometimes they go, it is about you. And I go, what? What did somebody say?
Yeah.
The
No, I know.
TMZ, I'm a little high profile to be prescribing peptides, I think, anytime soon.
Okay.
But they're amazing. This is the future of medicine. This is the future of longevity. This is the future of health and wellness. And as soon as we are able to ask GPT 5.9 or 12.5, how do you make a better peptide using these anti-inflammatories? It's going to go bzzz, and we're about to get the greatest peptides ever. So stay tuned.
Wow.
But only doctors should be able to do that.
How are doctors today using AI in their practice?
So I use it a lot. and I'm obsessed with it. Well, if you're a radiologist, you're a little screwed because AI is 1,000 times better at reading X-rays than a radiologist. So at image analysis, nothing's better than AI. Nothing can read an MRI or a chest X-ray or a pathology slide better than AI.
Wow.
So we're using it in those areas. But there are 2 recent studies, one out of Harvard and one at Cedars, where they compared AI analysis of patients coming in to an ER compared to the doctor's analysis and their diagnostic capabilities. AI was like 83% better at making a diagnosis
Wow.
than we physicians were in that setting. So I think very soon, if you don't feel well, you're going to go into a place, there's going to be a nurse there and some diagnostic machines and an LLM, AI, and you're going to talk to it. It's going to, just like don't you talk to Chad occasionally?
Sure.
Yeah. And you're going to go and you're going to tell your symptoms and they're going to take some blood. And now there's a robot that
Oh, I don't like that.
Have you seen this robot?
No.
There's a robot
crazy.
that actually does ultrasound and
Oh.
sees your vein,
Oh, okay.
puts a tiny little needle right into it and can take your blood.
Maybe
So-
that is better than a person in theory, but like, oh my gosh, the thought of it missing. I'm too queasy. But also I'm like, I've had humans miss multiple times. So
Take it from the doctor,
yeah,
who is a human.
it's probably-
who-
So I did
Ugh.
5 surgeries yesterday, okay? On the second one was this woman who was a little bit older and kind of had nothing to eat or drink, as they shouldn't, for a few hours, and she was a little dehydrated. They had to stick her
yeah.
to get the IV started like 7 times. Well, if a robot comes in with an ultrasound and
Amazing.
goes and puts it right in there, I prefer the robot do it.
That's fair.
How long will it be before robots are better at surgery than humans? If you ask Elon Musk, he says 3 years. Elon, what are you smoking? It's not going to be 3 years. They can barely move water from one place to another.
but
they don't
maybe in 15 years.
for sure.
I mean,
or 8.
Yeah.
I was a surgical tech for years and assisted in some robotics surgery, and
It's good.
that to me is like, I mean, they're performing, and it's just there is a doctor in there who's like
Yep.
Yeah.
manipulating
Yep.
the
Mhm.
robotics arms and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
so the fact that we are here now is really,
Easy.
really
Yeah,
wild.
it's funny because I was asked the other day, they said, well, you're probably going to be safe because robots won't have the artistic judgment that a human. I said, really? Haven't you seen the movies that AI is making now? I mean, one of my favorite podcasts, besides your guys, I do watch your
Obviously.
podcast, but I love it, is Whiskers podcast. Have you ever
heard of
seen
it.
Whiskers
No.
podcast? It's 2 cats, AI cats.
Us and the cats. I love it.
I'm obsessed
made
with
it.
cats. I love cats. Who talk to each other and they go smash or pass. And, and then they talk about what it's like to be a cat and how they relate to their humans. I'm obsessed. They look like real cats.
really.
Yes.
It's so funny.
And so I don't know what makes a more beautiful generated girl, AI or a human? Yes, I think AI is going to be a better plastic surgeon than we are.
Thing.
Wow.
No question about it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with AI. I think it's the greatest thing ever.
So you're ready to retire?
Yeah, I could retire. I could retire 5 years ago. I do it because as you know, I have a very unique practice. Nobody comes to Terry Dubrow for a simple breast augmentation. You come with the,
Yeah.
the summer, summer breasts. Some are
Right.
here, some are there,
Yeah.
Do you
I
miss looking
imagine
in different directions?
I imagine, to that point, there will be a lot less botched surgeries once AI really gets going in
Yes.
medicine.
Yes, but most botched surgery isn't because the doctor did something wrong. It's because they ran into a complication because, think about it. We take a human who's perfectly healthy and we cut into them, disrupt all their blood vessels, move tissue from here over to there just to make them look a little better.
Yeah.
I mean, we traumatize people just for vanity. So that goes wrong, even when you do it perfectly a certain percentage of time.
How often? I mean, obviously, we started this conversation with you suggesting an alley, just like, hey, maybe wait a little bit.
Yeah.
How often are you talking patients out of surgery?
Well, I'm in a unique position because I don't have to do surgery anymore. I don't care. I do it because
Sure.
it's fun.
Yeah.
And I get the coolest cases. I don't care about paying my overhead. So I'm super honest. So if, a woman comes to me, she's had one kid and she still looks perfect, but maybe her breasts have drooped 10 millimeters, a quarter of an inch. And I go, really? You want to put scars on these breasts? They're still world class. So they go, really? I go, yes, scars. You're going to have scars. You're going to see them. Oh, and most, I think, not most, but a lot of surgeons who need to pay for their expensive overheads would go, oh, yeah, this is great. We can do a breast lift. You'll love it. We'll put it in a higher position. Okay, great. So, it depends where you are in your career. I like to think I was always super honest. And I always said, do you really want to put a big scar across your tummy just to make it a little tighter?
Have they fixed? I haven't seen your belly button tummy tuck recently, but have they made those look a little bit more natural?
Yeah, I mean, belly buttons are something you get a lot better at as you get older. So belly buttons are like the nose of the abdomen. If it's off even a millimeter, you go,
that looks weird. Yeah.
That looks kind of funky.
Something's not right.
Something's not right. Yeah, where it gets really tricky, where Botch just taught me, is how to make one when there isn't one, where they've lost one. Yeah, that's a skill that just the universe has taught me, how to do, to make one. And I've, gotten pretty decent at that. But yeah, so at this point, I do nothing but just impossible surgery.
Do you just miss doing like a typical breast dog? Or no? Would you be
not
like,
really?
This is boring?
I mean, so if they come to me for a typical breast dog, I say, I'm a little expensive. You can go down the street, and that guy who's 2 years out of his training will do the exact same thing I will. He's going to make an incision, lift up a pocket, put it in, and sit you up and go, ooh, and then and then stitch you up and go, am I the best? You're the best. Yes, you are, doctor. Okay, it's good. It's not a hard operation.
Okay.
Most of these operations, when they've never had surgery before, like upper lids. So the same really amazing doctors who are doing these A-list celebrities and these beautiful facelifts are doing surgery on these A-list males. Have you seen what's happening with the eyes on the A-list males?
Do they look
recently?
crazy?
Yes, you guys.
You need to mention some names because I don't do
I won't
that.
say. Yeah, I won't say
There's
it on
like
here.
4 I can think of.
Me too.
Well, I can tell you the males people are asking me about.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So they're asking me about Bradley Cooper. They're asking me about Jim Carrey. They're asking me about Adam Levine. Okay. So why do they look so? I don't know. I think they're still amazing, talented, hugely successful people. Legendary. I love them. But when you look, when you look at their eyes,
something's going on.
Look how
do the then and now
different they look.
There's like an intensity to their eye.
Well, they have too much skin taken.
Oh.
And here's the thing. Yeah, look at this. So here's the thing. Males have upper eyelid skin. It's very rare that you have a male who has no excess upper eyelid. Women, most, when they're younger and as they get older and have plastic surgery, you see the entire what we call upper eyelid platform. There's no excess skin at all. All males have some lidding, we call it, hooding of the upper eyelids. Okay, great. So if you take a guy who's got some hooding, excess upper eyelid skin, he's gotten a little bit older, and then you take it all, he never looked like that.
Yeah.
And now you've altered him to a point where he's unrecognizable.
I'm curious. Okay, not for guys, but for girls, considering a lower bluff, would you say get under eye filler before you say do a under bluff?
So, I just did a TV show on E, which no one saw, thank you very much, called Plastic Surgery Rewind, with one season, where a bunch of celebrities moved into a house together. I saw you didn't cover it on your show, by the way.
You noticed?
Next time you have a show,
Because you've never heard of it.
give us the 411. We'll make it
So-
What was
popular.
the marketing like?
So, I know, right? We had Kim Zolciak, her daughter, Ariel, her.
Bierman, yes.
And then we had, who was the one with P. Diddy and the band,
Aubrey
Aubrey
O'Day.
O'Day. They all moved into a house to consider reversing their plastic surgery. And so that was my new show on E, right? We
Okay.
put Botched on pause and did that show.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had to go through this whole Michelle Visage from Drag Race was the host. We had a therapist and me, and they had to decide whether or not to reverse their plastic surgery. They all hated their face filler, every single one of them. And they particularly hated the filler under the eyes because this is the thinnest skin in the body. If you get a little too close to the surface, it results in this weird phenomenon called the Tyndall effect, where you can see it and it's hard to dissolve, and sometimes it's not dissolvable at all. Filler in the face needs to be done. Well, it is being done a lot less now, but for a while it was, we used to call it the pillow face, overfill everybody's face. And that was the key, the liquid facelift. Fortunately, that's pretty much over. People are not doing as much filler anymore.
What is this facelift that like allegedly Lindsay Lohan?
The deep plane.
Yep.
Like a half.
So the deep plane is you go much deeper. Theoretically, as you go closer to the nerves and you pull the entire cheek up rather than to get tightening through just skin pulling, you get not a more natural result because their faces are changing. Let's face it. Their before and after, they look great, but almost unrecognizable, but in a good way, some of them, right? So that's called the deep plane. A recent study was published in our #1 journal, PRS, Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery, that compared 2,000 deep planes with 2,000 regular facelifts where we just do the plane called the SMAS. There was no difference. So, the key with the facelifts is go to someone who does a lot of facelifts and you'll get and whatever they want to do, like the Kris Jenner, Kris Jenner, and a lot of the ones you're seeing from that very good surgeon in LA, they're not doing deep planes. None of them. None of them are doing deep planes. So, there's so much sort of retail. It's retail medicine. And a lot of what you hear online with a doctor showing their before and after, I've been doing the deep plane for 30 years. Really, it's only about 20 years old, is just a lot of advertising and hype. There's no magic to the deep plane facelift. There really isn't. So be careful.
First thing to age is neck, right? Neck
I
or
think it's your eyes.
Eyes?
I think people age in their eyes before their neck tends to loosen.
Really?
Yeah. First, it's the mid-third. That's why people have their eyes done before they have their neck done. But the neck is obviously a thing that shows your age very significantly. You know what's pathetic? So when I was in medical school, 1982 to 86, right? We were taking scalpels and cutting people open and disrupting their blood supply and lifting things up and pulling it back and cutting it off and stitching it up. And I thought, okay, this is fun, getting good at this. But I imagine in the 2000s, particularly 2026, there'll be a different way than taking a scalpel, cutting open the face, disrupting the blood supply and putting stitches in. That's exactly what we still do. How ridiculous
It is
that?
wild.
We need
honestly.
AI on that.
It's
we need a redo.
So there's a drug you can inject that changes the DNA of the cholesterol forming cells in your liver so that it permanently lowers your cholesterol.
Wow.
One shot.
Really?
Is that a GLP-1?
No. It's not a peptide. It's a longer chain, more complicated drug. So how far away are we from injecting a drug that changes your collagen producing cells DNA so that you make collagen the way you do as opposed to the way I do, or the way you do as opposed to the way you do? Not far.
I'm like, give it to me now. I want it.
By the way, give it to me, baby.
So
I'm
when you
ready
say
for
not
it.
far, are we talking 2 years, 15 years?
Certainly 5.
5.
Okay, so we just got to hold out.
I mean,
Get the Botox, maybe not too much filler.
yes.
Sculptra?
I think all those are great.
Okay.
And look, if you're ready, if you look in the mirror and you pull your cheeks back and it looks substantially better and you're in your 40s, 50s, I think it's a while before you're going to have this drug that changes your collagen and your elastin so that you kind of get facelift by changing your DNA. It's still okay to go get a facelift, I think. it is. It's not happening next year.
Well, Dr. Dubrow, this is so much fun.
That was so fun. Thank you very much. I want to say I am a little bit surprised you didn't bring up Housewives.
I was going, you know what, honestly, we can. I don't know.
No. Season 20,
Are you
Real Housewives,
excited?
Orange
Are
County.
you excited for this season?
I don't really watch the show.
Okay.
I stopped watching it to protect myself.
Sure.
So, I'll show up to a party in the middle of the season and they're all fighting and ragging on each other. And I go, Vicky. And little I know that she and Heather are pissed right now. I go, she looks at me. I go, we're cool. I don't watch. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I think it's very cool. It's been the most amazing platform ever.
I have one more question. What's the best financial advice that you could give me or anyone? Obviously, you're a successful surgeon.
Yep.
We know that you guys, do well for yourselves.
Yeah.
But it seems like when I'm watching Housewives, that you guys are doing very well for yourself. And
Yes.
I would love to just, any best practices that you have, because you seem to be doing even better than some of your peers.
Yeah, well, we're very into the planning thing, into AI and peptides and longevity. I'm that into finances too. I've been a student of it my whole life. There's a few basic principles that I think are very easy that everyone should do. Number one, you open up, it's called Scholar Share. For each one of your kids, do it right now. You can do it even before they're born, and you put a little bit of money into it every month. A little bit of money, maybe $100, $200, and it grows and grows, and you don't pay taxes on it in 18 years as it comes out, and you use it for college. It's a college fund.
Oh, wow.
My parents did that.
And your parents can pay into it.
Wow.
So when my kids, that 4 of them are all going to college, they're at expensive schools, every single one of them, we just had 2 graduate, one's still at Yale, and one's about to go to college. Their college funds, they're funded. It's the best thing ever. No matter how wealthy you are in the future, which I know you guys will be, it's nice not to have to pay for college. So that's the number one thing you must do. Scholar Share, California 529 plan, okay? And then number 2, you got to pay yourself first. Always take whatever you make a month and say, well, we're going to take this percent, whatever it is, 10, 15%, and we're going to put it in something that makes money every single month. And I recommend, when the first iPhone came out, it was 2 days after Steve Jobs. Oh, one more thing. I don't know if you've ever seen that. If you haven't, you were little kids when this thing out, but it was a historic moment. I saw it. I was a young surgeon, and he pulled out this new type of phone, and that you could manipulate by touching the screen. And a patient of mine's husband came in as they were picking the patient up and showed me this thing. And I went, whoa, I bought Apple stock every year.
Really?
So invest in the brilliant people. Just keep buying those stocks forevermore. That's my best.
Do you have an
advice.
online Terry Dubrow fund that people can follow?
I don't, but it's very, I just buy our
All
geniuses.
smart guys, yeah.
Invest in them,
That
and you'll
makes a
do
lot of
really well.
sense.
That's it.
Well, Dr. Dubrow, we appreciate you taking the time. Where can people follow you? All that fun stuff.
So, I'm sort of nowhere and everywhere at the same time. I have an Instagram called Dr. Dubrow. Heather and I have a podcast. I'm just doing my thing.
Are you still doing TikTok lives?
Right now, you mean where I sell my stuff?
Yeah.
Right now, that's on a pause because I'm developing a new system based on all the new stuff that's come out. I'm changing that up, although that's been very successful, but I'm changing things around. Yeah.
All right.
And finally, work out every single day.
Lift weights.
Lift
Women
weights.
drink creatine. That was, I didn't
Yeah.
know. I need to tell my mom to drink some creatine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was
It's
fun,
cheap,
guys.
too.
Yes.
Creatine's
Yeah.
cheap.
The cheapest.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fun. Thank you very much.
Well, that'll do it for today's episode. Thank you to our guest, Dr. Terry Dubrow. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for another amazing reality recap. We have the creators of
Million
Dollar
Dollar
Nanny. Fascinated by that show. I am curious how they found these nannies and these families. We also have Gabriel from Love Island talking about his experience, and I'm sure he's going to bring it, and we are excited about it. So be sure to tune in. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.